So have you heard about new perspectives on Death Teacher?
We have new perspectives on Death Teacher.
Sit down, class. It's time to get started. I'm Dr. Doom. Let me tell you a little about myself. I teach 3 new classes here at South. Lycanthropy, World Domination, Paranormal Chemistry. I also teach Drama 1. I graduated from Transylvania University with a degree in mischievous plotting. I enjoy thinking of evil deeds, putting forks in microwaves, and telemarketing.
So, what made you decide to become a teacher?
Well, it pays $15 an hour, plus medical, and all the highlighters I can handle. And it's all part of my plan to take over the world. Plus, I coach the volleyball team. They're having quite a season. What comes to your mind when you think about sports at South Kitsap High School? I'm sure you think about baseball and their amazing battle to win state last year. You probably think of football, with their consistency in being the best team in the league. And of course you think of volleyball. Well, maybe you don't think of volleyball, but why shouldn't you?
People don't think about volleyball when they think about football or baseball because it's not something that at South Kitsap, I think it's not the main sport. Volleyball is just kind of that side sport.
I think people believe that volleyball is an easy sport, and it's not at all. It's really hard, and it's actually pretty competitive, and people think it's just a fun thing for girls to go out and do.
The truth is, South Kitsap volleyball is anything but your standard family picnic volleyball.
I mean, people don't understand the intensity and the high-level thinking in volleyball, I think. But once you start playing more and the level, ups, then it's a whole different game.
The misconceptions that people have about volleyball have caused it to be one of the less attended sports here at South.
The people that play sports come out to watch just because it's kind of a mutual thing we have going between all the sports. But other than that, I think people are kind of stuck in their own worlds.
I think the team isn't as well supported as it should be by the school, but I think it's just because the knowledge isn't there.
The girls on the team are always up to something to help inform people about how fun the sport really is, whether it's their clever advertising or planning fun skits in the middle of pep assemblies.
We wanted to show them that, the school as well as these boys, that it's not as easy as you think it is.
It's got to be a good way for the rest of the school to see what goes on in our volleyball games and a good way to get crowd involved, just to see what it's really like and what we're all about.
Regardless of attendance, the South Kitsap volleyball team has been one of the most interesting and consistent teams to follow since their first appearance at districts in 1998. Since then, they have only failed to make it to districts once. They even managed to fight their way to the state playoffs in 2001. This year, they hope to make it to the state playoffs again.
Our goals as a team, we talked about this, is to make it to state because we haven't been to state since I was in 9th grade.
Our main goal as a team is to make it to state this year. We have 7 seniors on our team, and we all really want to go, and we're all determined, and we're pretty sure we're going to make it there. We're going to give it all we got.
So if you want to support our South Kitsap teams, come watch a volleyball game and show other schools that there are no fans like South Kitsap fans.
Hey, watch where you're going.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm on my way to class. Dr. Doom says he wants us for some kind of an experiment.
Who's us?
You know, in drama, he teaches both. He must have killer credentials. When was the last time you delinquents went to class?
We've been doing some investigations. Like the paranormal stuff. Like, have you ever seen Poltergeist? You
guys watch entirely way too much X-Files.
Looks like we got ourselves a non-believer.
Yep.
I gotta go. I'll see you later.
Hello, Daryl. I hope you brought your thinking cap.
In between sports, school, and other activities, many students do not make time to read. To remedy this problem, South Kitsap High School has instituted SKR, or South Kitsap Reads. It is 20 minutes of silent reading in between the first and second block of the day. The importance of reading has always been very evident.
Reading's essential. I don't think learning can take place without reading. Reading is how we expand our knowledge of everything around us.
South Kitsap High School wanted SKR to help students recognize the importance of reading in their education.
It kind of maybe puts it more to the forefront that we should take a little bit more time out for us to read. I think the majority of the staff support it just because we all are aware that, we need to work on the comprehension and the reading skills of all of our students.
Many students look forward to the reading time during SKR.
I like SKR. It gives you a chance to relax and read and enjoy books. Like, I don't have time to read a lot at home because of homework and extra activities.
It's very relaxing and soothing. Kind of lets you collect your thoughts and get ready for the rest of the day.
I think it just gives students like a quiet time where they have to concentrate, and it just lets them study more or read or just take a break from classes.
Although the many students who enjoy SKR may think it is short, a lot can be read during it. During a 180-day school year, the 20 minutes of SKR add up to 60 hours of reading. If a student reads a page every 2 minutes, they will have read 1,800 pages. That means that the 2,300 students at South Kitsap High School will read 4,140,000 pages in a year. That is 20,700 books with 200 pages each. With all that reading at SK, just think of the great minds that are being developed. You never know who could be the next Einstein.
Brains.
Daryl, what's wrong with you?
Brains.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
I'm alive. I'm free. I love life.
Brains. The books returned Daryl back to his normal self.
I don't get it.
Can't you see? The books gave Daryl knowledge. And what he was also lacking in was spirit. He should have gone to the pep assembly.
South Kitsap just had its first pep assembly. It's easy to see just how much school spirit the students here have. Our athletes also show their dedication by not only doing the best they can, but also by putting on a show for their number one fans. We also had a visit from our funky grandfather Wolf. The grade level competitions were both disgusting and entertaining. The representatives of each grade level ate a concoction of tapioca and mayonnaise. But they showed their spirit and school pride. And the assemblies would never be the same without the cheerleader. Rock on, South Kitsap.
South Kitsap football game, a Port Orchard tradition for 84 years. However, never again will attending a South Kitsap football game mean dehydrating yourself for fear of a honey bucket. That's because for the past year and a half, community volunteers have been busy constructing a new structure on the north end of the football field. This volunteer-sponsored project will be home to a men's and women's restroom, as well as 2 ticket window booths and a concession stand.
We've had just tremendous response from all of the different groups that have been building this structure, from dirt removal at the very beginning, design, etc., all the way up through blocks and putting in the plumbing. All of those guys have been really helpful.
The project itself, keeping climate in mind, is even complete with a covered area in the event of soggy weather. Although the restrooms may not be complete for this season, the ticket booth will be put to work. And South Kitsap football games will never be quite the same thanks to the hard work of the members of our community.
It's just really nice to have the community come together on a project like this. It's really been good.
What do you need?
Books. Lots of books.
Scott, no one's ever tried this before.
That's why it's gonna work.
Are you interested in four-wheeling? Well, this summer I took a trip to California and headed out on the Rubicon. Although it takes a lot of money and uses up a lot of time, it can be really fun. So let's see what it takes to venture out on the trails. So here's a few things that might make Jeeping a little more productive for you. First, I run Dana 44 axles, which are a particularly strong axle. I run a 300 or 400 transfer case, or a 400 transmission, and an Atlas 2 transfer case. I run 35-inch boggers and stock V6, I guess. That's all you need for power. So many people think that once they have the Jeep, they can go out and play. That's not entirely true. First, you should start off with easy trails and move your way up. If you throw yourself into this hard trail, you might end up breaking parts, rolling over, and possibly killing yourself. If you're willing to spend the time and the money and you're looking for a thrilling adventure, Jeeping might just be for you.
Coming to the Wynn Grand Lund Theater at South Kitsap High School. A story of life, death, and the most important choice a young woman will ever make. Brought to the stage by the SK Drama Department. Experience live student theater at its finest. The Girl in the Mirror. No reserved seating, tickets on sale at the door.
We have some special messages for you.
Of all the technological advances at South Kitsap High School, none have seemed to signify more change than the late WTV. Wolf Television is a live 24-hour broadcast brought to you by the video production studio right over there. Starting from the very first week of school, coaxial cables began to be distributed to classrooms all throughout the school to be hooked up to the new closed circuit system. What most commonly seemed to be the problem was lack of knowledge. Students seemed to appreciate the idea but were unfamiliar with what they were seeing, besides the fact that it was something new. Staff, beyond the conditioned response mostly give, seemed to appreciate it too.
Well, I've noticed the classes are paying more attention to the announcements when it's on TV.
They seem to like it. It's fun. It gives the students are much quieter during announcements now because they have something to watch as well as something to listen to. So, as a whole, the good news, the news that I've heard has been good.
It gets off subject sometimes. Like the bulletin's not like it used to be. You know, you could get times and everything. Everything was great. You tell you all the scores. This time it takes forever. It's like all drawn out, just like the news programs on TV.
A lot of students didn't listen particularly before the morning announcements were on television, but because we're such a visual society now, it seems to fit right into our society and right into what we're used to seeing and what we're used to doing to get information.
I get a lot of compliments, actually, mainly from staff, which is kind of strange. They come up to me and I don't know, they're impressed at what a big production it turned out to be, and I get a lot of comments that students are really attentive now and they're actually watching the announcements.
I think the potential for the closed circuit system it's huge. It really is huge. I think we all would acknowledge the power of the media in our daily lives.
So as we say here in the video production department, that's the way of the Wolf House. Have a nice day.
WTV has met nothing but success, so we thought we should show you some things that we've ran in the past, like our piece on clogged hallways.
You see this wood floor here in the sophomore pit? You see this black aggregate stuff? Well, when we're in the commons, we need to remember to get off of the aggregate and onto the wood floor. And if you don't, as we all know, it's a zoo, and all too often you just can't get through the halls. In the commons, if we'd get off of the aggregate and onto the wood floor, we'd all be a lot better off. This is another bad spot. People just start stacking up. First 2 people are talking, then 6, then 12, and then you're lucky if you can barely squeeze by along the wall. So, the next time you're in the halls, remember, we've got a lot of tight, congested areas. Don't stop and talk unless you're sure you're not blocking traffic.
Ahoy! Talk Like a Pirate Day was sure fun and interesting.
Ahoy there, mateys! We here on the deck of the Swooping Wolf have weighed anchor from this here rat-infested port and embarked on a voyage only the roughest swaggering sea dogs will ever survive. For this here day do be known as International Talk Like a Pirate Day. 'Twill be the first of many a lively celebration of holidays known to few. So if you didn't want to be known as a scurvy landlubber or a squiffy sprog, then batten down the hatches, and when you next hear your name being called, ring out with a hearty aye!
Well, I gotta run out of here, but before we do, let's look at this interesting piece on cross country.
This weekend, South Kitsap's very own cross-country team made a national name for themselves thanks to their performance in a California Invitational. Here in the studio this morning is Coach Santos to give us a little bit of information on the competition. Welcome, Coach.
Good morning, Melissa.
First of all, congratulations. We have some video clips we'd like to show, but before we get to those, could you tell us about the competition and who were your top runners?
Well, it was called the Ed Sias Invitational, and it hosted many of the best teams in California and 2 nationally ranked teams in the Harrier National Rankings. So it was a great competition, and our runners finished very well. Our boys and girls JVs both won the team championships. Our girls team finished third, but only 4 points from winning the entire meet, and our boys beat those two nationally ranked teams and finished first by almost 70 points.
Wow, that's amazing. We're going to go ahead and run some of that video, but while we do that, point out any South runners that fly by, and could you tell us about the conditions? It looks like a tough course and pretty warm too.
It was very warm. Actually, there's Dustin Kemp and Joe Daniels Hall, and Jacob Warren should be in there pretty quick. There he goes, and that's Brad Leipert. This is the JV boys. James Nelson goes by. It was a very difficult course, very hilly. Even has its own hill called Finale at the very end. There goes C.J. Godfrey, Drew Pauly, Justin Culver, and Stephen Millard flying by in the bars. This is the hill called Finale. As you can see, it's very steep. It's about 600 meters from the finish. Some girls JV competition here. That's Carissa Merrill. We'll see Michelle Pearson go by. There she is. Very tough. By the time the girls finish.
I told you, I already sent down the attendance.
The other thing we're going to be attending is your funeral, Doctor. What?
Hello, kids. I'm Larry, Dr. Doom's substitute and protege. Looking for some extra credit?
Oh, extra credit, you. I mean, I'll credit you with some extra pain.
Brains.
Ha! No book can harm me. I'm a werepire, moron.
Well, if a normal book doesn't do it, how about a silver one?
Well, looks like we're done here. And we've also learned the power of knowledge in books. We're sure to never see Dr. Doom and his minions again.